of second program, and famous Bengali singer Surojit o tar bondhura performed. In the post-dinner discussion among senior company personnel, they were of the opinion that the program has risen to such a height that it is very difficult to immaculate it. And that brings challenge to me. I started thinking about the next program. One day, a writing was seen by me about the social aspect of a doctor. A doctor is a friend and a guide to his known people for their overall development, not only of the person's physical health, but also of mental health. This is a picture of a depressed person and he is a jubilant person, boy. At the contemporary time, my wife has asked me about the purpose of the program. I told her the same thing, that to give the boys a stress-free day and to give them a platform where they can mingle with their bosses freely. My wife told me the program is of khana, pina, nacha, gana, and it should not be like that. She requested me to do something so that the boys will remember me forever. Again a challenge came to me. I started thinking about the planning of next program. I was wished to give the boys a platform from which they can be benefited from their careers. But I am not an institute to give them education. Then it came to my mind that there are two types of education, knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is something which someone learned from an institute, but wisdom comes from experience. Knowledge is the confident understanding of a subject. Wisdom is the ability to make correct judgments and decisions. I wish to give them wisdom, and I became satisfied with the thought. So the goal has been changed for the URO Carnival. For the last several years, I saw deterioration of quality amongst pharmaceutical company personnel, more in the downline field category. I sometimes saw them helpless, mentally tired, frustrated. Some bright people have quit the job and some also changed the profession. I personally tried to talk to them about the deficit, but most of them did not disclose anything to me. This time, I am trying to decorate this program in such a way that these medical representatives get impetus to stay in this profession and reach higher goals in their career. I had heard that in this profession, a medical representative can reach to the post of president of that company. So I have shortlisted some names of different companies who have risen to similar heights so that they can share their experience and struggle to the boys. And it was not at all a smooth journey. Second Saturday of February was fixed for the URO Carnival. First I started to fix the property. I, along with my friends and few company personnel, have gone to several places, but none was more suitable than Creek Resort. It is nearby from Durgapur as also from Kolkata. I had to keep in mind that higher ranking people should come and it can accommodate about 100 people. It has to have modern amenities including a conference hall. So the property was booked. I was thinking of a stress-free program, so I have decided to make it a 1.5 day program so that the company bosses will come in the evening and give their lectures in the morning next day. If it would have been a single day program, then the company bosses would try to reach in the morning, and which will be very difficult for me to conduct the program then. But one thing I was misjudged. Getting over the top buses was a Herculean job. From the month of September, I started talking to them. It was like to start a romance over phone. Sometimes they picked up the call and sometimes not. Many a person had not have my contact number. So I have to go via the ZBM or NSM to get them. Initial response was started, but was very lukewarm, I must say. I could not understand whether the bosses is liking me or not. Sometimes they cut my call and rang me later on, but alas, I was busy then at the OT. After this lukochori for the next 3 months, they all consented for my program. And dating hasn't fixed. That's the romance. But at the same time, they have told me that they were trying. I was finger crossed. Sometimes I was thinking that passing MBBS was easier than this. But I never give up the hope. For an individual program to spend more than 1.5 days is a strike-like situation in their career. But I am proud to present to the boys 7 of the company's higher personnel to this event who will share their experience with the boys. My heartfelt gratitude to them, and that's my success. Then my thought was that these junior boys should not be overawed by the talk. So I started about motivational speeches. Searched a long list of speakers, but most of them either reside abroad or demand hefty amount. Then I think of P.L.E. Vashak, who has climbed Mount Everest almost without oxygen, much before ABP Ananda, who claimed egiye thake egiye rakhe about them. I thought of a quiz contest for the development of professional rivalry in a healthy way. I have kept quiz contest on the general knowledge so that the boys did not block their heads with alpha blockers. As this program is at Bolpur, I wish to have Ravindra Sangeet and Baul, which was played yesterday, because so many people had come from different places all over India. Today's evening session is jam-packed with music and dance. Shurajit O Bandhura will perform in the evening. Famous band Upbeat, along with singer Devashish and Riyasini, will also perform. This time, I have decided to encourage 3 best executives who are meeting me so that they can be boosted to the next level, and they will be judged according to appearance, attitude, communication, knowledge, regularity and reliability. I will be delighted if this program imbibes some wisdom amongst the junior peoples for their development. I also wish to see some junior peoples to rise such a height of company's highest post so that I can be proud of myself for starting URO Carnival in future. Thanking you all. Wish you a great time ahead. Namaskar. we are going late, so next program is the lamp lighting ceremony. I am requesting 7 speakers who have come from different places of India to come with me for this lamp lighting ceremony. Please, Mr. Satish Pandey, he is not here. Mr. Vishal Arla, Mr. Ankit Shah, Mr. Tinku, Mr. Kishore Misra, Mr. Fani Kumar, Mr. Avik, and Mr. Vishal Vateja. Hey. I am very sorry, I have missed one speaker's name. He is Mr. Demallo.
মঙ্গল দিন আমাদের সমৃদ্ধি, নলেজ, উইজডম সব একসাথে নিয়ে আসুক কামনা রাখছি। আপনাদের প্রত্যেকের জীবন এবং আমাদের প্রত্যেকের পারিবারিক জীবন সুখ সমৃদ্ধিতে ভরে উঠুক এই আলোর মধ্যে দিয়ে। আলো
আলো আমার আলো গো, আলোয় ভুবন ভরা, আলো নয়ন ধোয়া আমার, আলো হৃদয় ভরা। Light my light, the world filling light, the eye kissing light, heart sweetening light. আলো আমার আলো গো, আলোয় ভুবন ভরা, আলো নয়ন ধোয়া আমার, আলো হৃদয় হরা। Oh, the light dances, my darling, at the center of my life. The light strikes, my darling, the chords of my love. The sky opens, the wind runs wild, laughter passes over the earth. নাচে আলো নাচে ও ভাই আমার প্রাণের কাছে, বাজে আলো বাজে ও ভাই হৃদয় বীণার মাঝে। জাগে আকাশ, ছোটে বাতাস, হাসে সকল ধরা। The butterflies spread their sails on the sea of light. Lilies and jasmine surge up on the crest of the waves of light. আলোর স্রোতে পাল তুলেছে হাজার প্রজাপতি, আলোর স্রোতে পাল তুলেছে হাজার প্রজাপতি। আলোর ঢেউয়ে উঠল নিচে মল্লিকা মালতী। The light is shattered into gold on every cloud, my darling, and it scatters gems in profusion. মেঘে মেঘে শোনাও ভাই যায় না মানিক গোনা। Mirth spreads from leaf to leaf, my darling, and gladness without measure. The heavens' rivers have drowned its banks, and the flood of joy is abroad. পাতায় পাতায় হাসিও ভাই পুলক রাশি রাশি, সুর নদীর কুল ডুবেছে সুধানি ঝরঝরা। আলো আমার আলো গো, আলোয় ভুবন ভরা।
ছোট্ট মেহরবানি, আপনাদের জীবনের প্রতিটি মানুষের জীবনে আলো আপনাদের পথ দেখা অন্ধকার থেকে আলোর দিকে উত্তরণ করুক এই কামনা রাখলো। খুব ভালো লাগছে, অনুষ্ঠানটা এত সুন্দরভাবে শুরু হয়েছে। যার শুরু ভালো তার শেষও ভালো। ডক্টর চন্দ্রের কিছু মূল্যবান কথা, তার ব্যক্তিগত এক্সপিরিয়েন্স উনি আমাদের সঙ্গে শেয়ার করলেন। এখনও আমাদের কিছু অনুষ্ঠান বাকি আছে, আশা করি প্রতিটি অনুষ্ঠানই আপনাদের মনোরঞ্জন করবে। ধন্যবাদ ডক্টর চন্দ্র।
Now we are going to start guest lecture. And first speaker is Mr. Satish Pandey. Please, Mr. Pandey. Mr. Satish Pandey will talk on pharma sales as a career. What you get here won't get you there. Mr. Satish Pandey is the name synonymous with urology pharmaceutical industry. He is Senior Vice President, Intas Pharmaceuticals. From 2005, he had taken care of Ranbaxy Urology and Nephrology divisions. From 2011 to 2016, he had taken care of all nephrology divisions of Dr. Reddy Lab. From 2016, he is taking care of entire Intas Urology and Nephrology divisions. Looking both segments, he is the senior most person of direct corporate offices till date. Please, Mr. Pandey.
टेक्निकल ऑडिटोरियम में ऑडिटोरियम से देखना ना কি লাগবে মদের একটা পাওয়ার বোর্ড তাড়াতাড়ি
ওইখানে বোর্ডটা থেকে নিয়ে নেবো, ওইখানে বোর্ডটা ফাঁকা আছে 15 পয়েন্ট।
না তুই দে না পাওয়ার বোর্ড
এখানে বোর্ড নাই, বোর্ড নাই।
Thank you, sir, and good morning, dear friends. So, matching shoulder to shoulder, this is how the industry has grown. You have grown, I have grown, and my dear friends and colleagues and my superiors, seniors who have grown. So, at the outset, I carry greetings from my company, Intas Pharmaceuticals, which I represent. So once again, I carry greetings from Intas Pharmaceuticals, which I represent. Thank you very much, sir, for this August gathering which has gathered over here. And I would say it is a true third milestone that you have created in the entire Bengal and all India aspect, because the reverberations of this meeting as such is spreading across all India, across the entire pharma industry, across the medical fraternity as well. So heartiest congratulations to you, sir. And rather I would be honored to be a part of this carnival, the URO Carnival. In its new envisage, we saw the inaugural unveiling of the logo a very charismatic unveiling of the logo, in fact, sir. And the way it has progressed right from the yesterday afternoon onwards, and it is going to progress onwards for an entire day and tomorrow morning as well. I'm sure this is going to create a lot of reverberations within ourselves. We are going to get more wiser. We are going to get more closer, in fact. The people whom we have not been knowing, whom we have not been sharing, matching shoulders to shoulders, probably will get more closer, more intimate with each other, more collaborative with each other. The first day when sir called up, I think that was an honor to receive, and there has been seldom in my life that if a call has come, I have not picked it up, but then I have reverted back immediately. But with sir calling up, there was no point, whether it was a meeting, whether it was with the directors, whether it was myself, family, anywhere XYZ, the call had to be picked up. And as sir deliberated, so it was not a request, it was an order, and the order had to be promulgated. So thank you very much, sir, for the honor which you have bestowed. Yes, the topic which sir said, that the colleagues, the team members, the peers who are going to come across, there'll always be. In fact, I also have the question mark. When I discuss with my superiors, with my directors, obviously the career, the aspirations, the growth perspective, it always comes to the mind, not just until you rest in your life after your retirement. So with everybody bubbling up with energy, with fantastic growth that you have in your career at this point of time, I believe there is hardly any question. But in case if there are any questions, I'm open. There are my colleagues over here from the senior management. Probably we are there to guide with whatever in the best limitations we can. But I believe if you have reached till here, I think that itself is a big accolade in your life, because it has never been an easy journey in pharma industry. Be it in sales, be it in marketing, be it in any other field, I would say, of the pharma industry. It is always a challenge. So my talk or my deliberation would revolve around careers in pharmaceutical industry, what our aspirations as field representatives and managers have been, and how do we progress? How have we progressed at this point of time? So there's a popular saying that what got you here won't get you there unless until you strive for it.
का हार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती.
I won't continue beyond this because it's a story. It's a long, I would say, a prose by Mr. Bachchan himself, written by his father. Obviously, the boards which are made are not to be on the shores, but they are meant to be rocking in the middle of the sea. So as he rightly mentioned, the two lines, they aptly put out across that where we are into this pharmaceutical industry, it is that we have to keep on progressing further. We have to keep on running ahead against the time, against the challenges, overcoming all the challenges, in fact. So what has got you here, in whatever position you are here, do ensure that whatever you are doing at this point of time in your best of your capacity, if you don't excel beyond this, if you don't create a differentiation for yourself, if you are not aggressive. So to get to there, what your aspirations are, whether a short term or a long term, there are certain things which you need to carve out within yourself first, and then probably it is going to come along your way. Our pharmaceutical industry is embedded with a lot of generation within our industry is humongous. It is right from sales to marketing to research and development to supply chain to market research, and there are more and more niche areas which is building up further. So there is hardly anywhere where you can't fit in yourself. But then where you are, I probably that is the best revenue generation role that you are creating. The rest of the roles are supporting roles that you have. So the place where you are apple of the eye, in fact. So you are the limelight of your company, of your industry, as where a new person who joins the industry, who's new to the industry, who's new to the pharmaceutical industry, he can look forward to. As very rightly said, the Indian pharmaceutical industry is itself a success story. We have seen it for the last 2 years of COVID, how it has braced itself with the biggest of the challenges. And it has created many employment opportunities. And not only employment opportunities, but the offerings which it has in forms of solutions, in forms of medical solutions, medical or surgical solutions, these are at affordables, rightly affordable, and still we are untouched with. So we are in very safe hands. So to be, in case if anybody is thinking of switching the industry itself, there should be not one single question mark, there should be a double question mark. Our industry, value-wise, yes, we may be very behind, 12th in the entire pharma world. But if you look into the volumes, we are there. So there's a lot and opportunity. You can create two careers, you can have another life and then again get back into the pharma industry. So there's a lot of opportunity. We are third in the world in terms of volume. That entire world is looking upon the country where they have a lot of volume sales in fact. So a lot of patients here, unfortunately stuck with morbidity, but then we are here as a service partners to the doctors. If I look into how the industry has shaped up, industry has shaped from multinationals to the Indian companies. And we look into the top Indian companies that we get the reports, our senior shares the report with you, not many. The plethora of companies doing good, the plethora of companies doing much better at this point of time. But then your homegrown companies, they are taking care of you, they are taking care of the entire, the population, the morbid population of our country. So it is shifting from multinationals, it is like we, the Indians, the companies of Indians bases, they are rocking, they are doing wonderful. Where are you now? You are right here, you are the right people, you are at the right place and you are at the right time. This is what we have witnessed ever since we have joined the industry and ever since we have faced one of the biggest challenges which the industry would have faced, the COVID. It's a recession-proof industry, we have seen. While the other companies, or the other industries, they have started bracing up the challenge of COVID or other challenges that they had, our industry is moved much beyond that. We are creating more and more employments. So at this point of time, 33% of our industry is getting into employment mode. We are not into getting out of the COVID. We were never into COVID. We are now into employment generation while other companies are bracing themselves and getting back onto the track. We were always on the track. So you are in the right industry, you are at the right place. Some more facets about our industry is that if I look into the overall industry, be it textile, be it oil, be it manufacturing, be it automobiles, XYZ, whatever, our pharma industry has its operations much expanding. It's growing very fast, so you are in the right place. If I look into the sales growth, our industry is growing much rapidly as compared to any other industries. They are still bracing up. They are still coming to the terms. They are still there where the layoffs are still there. Our industry is growing up. Recruiting, growing much faster, innovating as well. If I look into when this report was prepared, what was the growth perspective at the point when it was second quarter of the year? Oh, the aspirations, if you look into it, the growth which was registered was 40% plus. Other companies, they were just getting back onto the track. That was what I mentioned. We were never off the track. We were on the track. If I look into the higher investments which were planned, you are from your companies, you are witness to the engagements, you are witness to the investments which your company has invested in the last 1.5 years post-COVID. Other companies still are bracing up whether we invest or we further divest. So there has been times in pharma industry which has seen when we heard it, I never witnessed it, but I heard it from my superiors, my old colleagues who are there in the retirements at this point of time. There was a phase when doctor used to come to the railway stations and the bus stations to receive them. Yes, it has moved. The transition has happened large. It has happened when the doctors have been waiting almost a decade back, a decade and a half back, for something for them to learn, which you were the harbingers. It has moved on. It has moved on now into online. Now it has moved. It is transitioning very fast at this point of time. We need to brace it up very fast. We see some facets, what it was and what it is now. So a glimpse of why this is being perceived at this point of time, a very safe industry. It is continuously evolving. And why am I talking on this? Because at this point of time, when everybody is focused on where am I, what my progression in career would be, it is important for us to understand where you are currently at this point of time, which industry you are at this point of time. Is it a safe industry? Is it a progressive industry? Because you can't progress in a dormant industry. You can't progress in an industry which is declining now. So you need to progress where the industry is growing, where the learning curve is high, where the growth is high. And this is where our industry is evolving as well. What it was earlier, the role model was from manufacturers straight away into the retailers. Now it has moved. It is evolving. It is evolving from the manufacturers to centralized purchase. It is becoming more and more sophisticated at this point of time. It is becoming more and more automated at this point of time. We need to brace it up. There is a transformation from the conventional medicines, from plain anti-infectives. Now it has moved to transgenics now, biosimilars. So these are the new vogues which is coming up. This is what we read it in our pharmacy books, and this is what we are currently bracing up now. This is where what we have it in our hand. So it's a very fast, rapidly changing industry that is we are seeing it. The stakeholder management is changing now from the cables management, from tier 1 metros and tier 2 focus. Now it is moving to rural now. It was that you had companies with specific division of rural segment. Now rural segment has moved out. It is now every division, every therapy is getting into rural, because that is where I said third ranked largest volume wise in our pharmaceutical industry. So now there is no separate rural marketing. Few companies may have it, but now everybody is moving to tier 3 and tier 4. So there is a lot of stakeholder shift which we are witnessing at this point of time. You yourself would have witnessed, say around half a decade back or maybe a decade back, those who were there, you were focused majorly at major towns. Now you would see traversing and traveling to tier 3 and tier 4 and maybe to villages as well. That is how the stakeholder management is moving. If I look into the technology, right from our existing visual aids, moving from our conventional pharma selling, it is moved digital. Most everybody has now the digital iPads. Everything is getting digital at this point of time. So the conventional modes and modalities are now changing very fast. Are you changing at the pace? That's more important to understand at this point. If not, then change it before asking it. The economies are moving ahead. We are seeing from self-paid, the healthcare, it is now moving more towards insurance, more towards co-pay. If you look into the regulations, minimalistic regulations were there, but now if you look into it, the CBDT, the UCPMP and variety of codes are coming, and there are more in the pipeline in fact. So at this point of time by the industry, by the pharma companies where you are working at this point of time, you already are hardworking, very laborious, very industrious. You have good education at the back end, you have the ability to keep the ball rolling on, but what is required at this point of time, I've just mentioned few Hindi words by the side of it so that you understand it. What the company requires at the point of time, what a CEO requires from you at this point of time is fortitude, temperance, prudence and a foresight. If these 4 things are missing, probably there are a list, a big more, because it changes with the position. But if these things are missing at this point of time, probably you are risking your own position now. So the prudence is required, the foresightedness is required, that if you are a sales executive or an area manager or a sales manager, regional manager, what it is next, it doesn't mean what it is next month, what it is at the next level. Are you prepared for the next level? Don't look forward that there is going to be a hand holding. If you have a hand holding, bless your mentor who is hand holding you. But then it is a time where everybody has to hatch their own chickens. So at this point of time, most importantly at this point, you have to fetch your own food. You have to fetch your own ground. So there are certain specialized skills. Most of the skills you already have it. So get not bogged down, but then most of the skills you have it. But with the changing environment, there are more skills which are required. So these are the skills which are outlined on the right side. So there you need to understand how the market sentiments are changing. You need to understand how the customer engagements are changing. What are the requirements, what the need gap analysis is. So these are few things which you need to understand at your position, at your market, in your capacity. And then look forward, what next? If you are preparing yourself for what next, worry nothing about your career progression, about your growth. It automatically comes on the way. So if you look into having an opportunity of working in a pharmaceutical industry, be blessed you are a part of this industry, because you have a very, very supportive environment from your companies, which allows you to build a lot of meaningful relationships with your peers, with your colleagues, with your doctors, with your stakeholders. It gives you a lot of perspectives of growth. A lot of growth opportunities are given, and the confidence to perform better comes across. It is in your hands. You perform better, you grow yourself, you mature yourself, probably you grow in the ranks, not only in terms of financials, but you grow all around. But what is more important is adapt to the skills, what the requirement is. And there are many more actually. So if I look into examples, what the luminary examples we have it, we don't go global. When we talk about Indian pharmaceutical industry, we talk about Indians. So we have the luminaries who show us the path, but how much we inculcate in ourselves. It is very well said that 1% of an advice, if inculcated, probably you grow 100%. You double yourself in your growth. You double yourself in your attitude. So as rightly mentioned by say MS, his goal was not to be better than anybody, not to be comparative, but then it was how he can be better every time he was there when it was asked for. Most important are, I won't say a businessman, but an industrialist. That is what he calls himself, Mr. Ratan Tata. I would exemplify few from what is required in us at this point of time. This becomes a more important, I would say, an advice or a friendly suggestions, that trust, value and commitment. These are the three things or the three pillars which a company looks forward to. A trust in your organization, trust in whatever offerings you have it for your customers. This is the most important thing. And it is a pillar of our pharma industry. If you have any lackadaisical product, Dr. Chanda or any doctor of yours, he won't believe in you. He may welcome you with a smile, but he would not welcome you on your offerings. So the trust, the company's value and the commitment which you decipher in your day-to-day working, that is the most important thing. If you have the high trust, if you are able to build the trust of your customers, I think you're going to go a long way across. Use your emotions importantly for your successes, but not number one to arm twist your bosses and your superiors. So important is that there are times and tribulations where you may get bogged down, but then don't get angered and create that anger as a motivation. Use this motivation to acquire successes, because at a point of time things may be down, but it is not going to remain. You have seen the seas, the waves in the sea. Once it is up, next second it is down. So anything which is up has to come down, anything which is down has to come up. That is the motto of the life. That is how the life goes on. So if you have a phase wherein you are not successful, you are bogged down, probably you get angered, frustrated, irritated, keep it to yourself. Nobody is getting affected because of that. Utilize it to self-introspect and motivate yourself. If nobody comes to your rescue, motivate yourself and use that as a ladder of success. So important is that never take any decisions, never speak out anything in front of anybody, your colleagues or peers, at a point when you are down, at a point when you are angered, when you are demotivated, because you let out your emotions which is not palatable to anybody, which may harm you at a point of time. So utilize your emotions for your success. Anything which is going to be harmful for you at a point of time, keep it to yourself. Just the power of 10 is very important. Hold it for 10 seconds. Imagine it what you are about to do and then do it. If you feel that yes, throwing up your anger would have helped you out, throw up your anger. Probably the result will speak out for itself. But if not, mind you, at any point of time, your irritation, your frustration, your anger, that is bound to happen in day-to-day life. Keep it to yourself. Introspect it and then react. Probably this phase will give a lot of advice, will give a lot of self-introspection what you should have been doing it. Whenever you are working, whether in a team, as a leader, value your team. Because your success lies on your team. So whether you are in a pool, whether you are working with your team as a leader, they are the reasons for your success. Yes, you are a bride. You are a reason for your success, for your team's success. But then if you don't value your team, the team doesn't value you, and ultimately you will be left out. So it is very well put up adage that if you want to walk fast, walk as fast as you can, but then walk alone. But if you have to walk, if you want to walk very far, not a month, not a year, but for years together, ensure that you create a team that can go along with you. So that's an important saying. Believe in your decision. That's most important. I go back to an incident where Mr. Ratan Tata himself, you all know about it. It was at a point when his flamboyant industry, which he started and then wanted to create a larger pie with Indica, it was going down. And his advisors at a point of time, they mentioned that it is a time that we sell off. And with very deep heart, he went off to US to sell his company the car, the Tata Indica, to Ford. You all would be knowing this story. And that was a change for Indica. We would never had seen Indicas going across. But then what happened there in US was Bill Ford, he mentioned that he is doing a favor to Mr. Ratan Tata and his company by buying him, and stated that if you do not have the skill, if you can't sell the cars, why get into it? Probably you could have faced it in your tenure as well. Probably the colleagues, the superiors, maybe the doctors, I'm sorry, they would have said that if you are not adept to it, why get into it? Take it to your heart. As Mr. Ratan Tata did it. He took it to his heart, he took that insult to his heart. Came back, he never signed the deal. He came back and then built up in his own capabilities, making it one of the success stories in Tata, in fact. And Tata Indica, the stories, the market share that it grabbed up from being down, from being a loss-making unit of the Tata conglomerate is a history for us. Later on, how it changed. At a point of time when Ford was looking forward for selling off Jaguar and trying to make up for the losses, it was Mr. Ratan Tata who came to the rescue. And then at a point of time when there was a meeting with again the same Bill Ford and Mr. Ratan Tata, the words were not the same. If you don't have a capability of selling the cars, why do you? He rather very gracefully accepted the Land Rovers and the Jaguar, and now it is a history in Tata what it is. So the point is that believe whatever you decide across. He would have got by the advices of his advisors within the company, and he would have sold it at whatever insult would have happened. But then he stood by his decision. There are many instances where you take a decision. Don't get bogged down by those decisions, because those are valuable decisions coming out of your experiences. Stand by those decisions. Ultimately, the maximum that can happen is that your decisions may get flayed. It may add up to your failure. Nevertheless, failures is always a scope for learning. If you don't fail, you don't learn out of it. So important point is that believe in your decisions, whatever be the outcomes for it. Take risks, that is most important. Mr. Ratan Tata also took a risk, denying what his advisors said it, but then he went ahead across. So take risk, that is the most important idea. It is a very well saying that if you don't take a risk in your life, that is the biggest risk that you are taking with yourself. So take risk. Our industry is very, very safe, and take risk in going ahead in beyond the strategies, going ahead and doing what you feel it would be right and what would be ethical. I think you will be doing the best thing for yourself, because time is not for eternity that you're going to be in the same position, in the same organization for eternity. Showcase yourself, try to be an example within the team, within the organization, within the therapy. Automatically you will see your careers progressing ahead. Opportunities will not come. No bosses will come across and give an opportunity bag full of opportunity to you. Have to grab the opportunity. It comes in a very veiled format. It comes in a very silent format. You have to take up the opportunity. You miss the opportunity, it is gone. Somebody else grabs it up and then he goes beyond. So do not shy away from any opportunity that comes across. There are many people in this house itself who have grown up the ranks with the opportunity which was given to them. Because an opportunity is given to you, somebody up in the hierarchy is looking at you very closely. Is looking at you that you are meant for something bigger. And if that opportunity comes beyond your role, beyond your zone, beyond your headquarters, go ahead and then prove yourself, because there is something big which is meant for you. You shy away from it, that's an opportunity which is lost. So that becomes one of the powerful adage. Any opportunity that comes to you, go ahead, grab it with both the hands and then show yourself, because you should believe in yourself that if you have that capability in yourself, any opportunity that comes, however big, however small, however easy, however difficult, you will be able to take it up. Focus on the results, that is most important. As MSD as well, when he went into the field, his focus was not grabbing the social media. His focus was on the end result. So his focus was till the last ball is bowled or till the last wicket is down, the victory is not announced. And you would have seen many videos, many anecdotes. There has been a game changer in the last over and in the last ball. So focus on your abilities, focus on what you have to achieve. Wickets may be down, things may be down, there will be a lot of, I would say, the discussions which will be against you, the tides may be against you, but focus on what your end result is, what you are in what capacity. Probably that is going to go a long way across if you have the right focus. Most importantly, this is the biggest adage which I can tell to this house at this point of time. Give yourself a pat. How many of you introspect yourself? How many of you after doing good thing have pat your back? Well done. I doubt. But then if you don't pat your back, why do you expect your bosses or your seniors to pat your back? If you have done something good, if you can't appreciate yourself, don't appreciate it from the others. If it comes across, welcome it. But the most important adage is that do good first, mark what you have to do good first, pat yourself, appreciate yourself first. Spend out a day at least appreciating what good you have done during the day, during the week, during the month. If you appreciate yourself, you will find there are people across appreciating you. Even if they don't get bogged out, you yourself have appreciated for something good. So that's the most important adage which I will put it across. There are few more to-dos actually, few very basics. Keep on your learning curve very high. Nobody is going to come across and put a book in your hand or maybe a course in your hand. You have to strive it for yourself. There are a lot many opportunities which are available. There are a lot many online opportunities which are available. Apart from that, your peers, your colleagues, your training departments, your superiors, they are a source of learning. Only thing is that you have to reach out to them. There are a lot many books. It is important, as very rightly said, to lead, read, because you get a lot of knowledge from them. Anybody who doesn't have the habit of reading it across, try to develop it, because you get a lot many informations, you get a lot many motivations from by reading it across. Start small, you will end up big. And the most important is see what others don't see. There is a big market across, there is a big industry which you are working at across. Look through, penetrate through, don't get into a one action mode and get into what you are doing it. Penetrate through and see what others don't see, and probably you will be the first person to grab it and grab the attention and grab what the best is coming your way. Importantly, there are so many things that you have done it in the past. There are so many accolades, there are so many victories that you would have grabbed in the past. Presently as well, past few days, currently, and maybe rightly in the future. But then celebrate, not only alone, get into the habit of celebrating together. So what got you here will surely get you there, probably if you are able to get into the basics of learning, developing yourself, patting yourself on the back, because these are few things which is going to help you out. Don't wait for somebody else to put a career progression into your hand. Develop yourself, adapt yourself, adopt to the situation, get adapted to the market. So if you are able to develop yourself, things are going to come your way. Nobody is going to get into it because you have spent 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. Those are the days which you have passed. Have you grabbed experiences? That is more important. Have you created a name for yourself? That is more important. Have you differentiated yourself? That is more important. If you are again run of the mill, the company sees you as a run of the mill, you are lost in the crowd. Most importantly, create an area where you differentiate yourself. If I look into our pharma industry, if I look into our sales profession, it could be a communication, it could be a detailing, it could be an availability. There are so many areas apart where you can differentiate yourself. Be the best in the team, go beyond. Be the best in the region, go beyond. Be the best in the zone, go beyond. Be the best in the company. Go ahead, make yourself a mark, be the best in the industry. We had Professor Tarun Gupta of late, but then he has created a name for himself. With what? With a simple visual aid which we have it in our hand, and that is a change. That's a real change. He became the professor. He has become mentors for so many of them. Are you? First ask yourself, are you a change? If you are a change, are you the best? Ask yourself, are you a differentiated personality within your team? Are you a differentiated team member and a value contributor within your team first? Look beyond the orbit, go beyond the orbit, and automatically you will see your accolades, your recognitions, your growth automatically coming in. Don't run for your growth, don't crib for the growth. It comes on your way, but only when you have changed yourself, when you have adapted yourself. I'll just see whether it plays or not.
कि लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है। मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरना, गिरकर चढ़ना ना करता है। आखिर उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं। डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, जा जाकर खाली हाथ लौट कर आता है। मिलते नहीं सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, मिलते नहीं सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। और अंतिम पद है कि असफलता एक चुनौती है, इसे स्वीकार करो। असफलता एक चुनौती है, इसे स्वीकार करो। क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो। जब तक न सफल हो नींद चैन को त्यागो तुम, जब तक न सफल हो नींद चैन को त्यागो तुम, संघर्ष का मैदान छोड़कर मत भागो तुम। कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार।
So I thank sir, because this was with what I would end across. Try and try to succeed. Try and try to differentiate yourself. Probably rest of the things automatically comes to yourself. Thank you very much, sir. I hail URO Carnival as a long-lasting event where this becomes a platform for learning and exchanging lot many things that we learn and yearn to grow. Thank you very much, sir.
It's the time for felicitation of the great speaker, Mr. Satish Pandey. I am requesting Dr. P.S. Chanda to felicitate Mr. Satish Pandey.
Now I am requesting next speaker, Mr. Vishal Arora, who will talk on power of communication. Please, Mr. Vishal Arora. Mr. Vishal Arora currently heads the business operations for Urology 2 divisions and Dharma 3 divisions at IPCA Laboratories Limited. His previous assignment has been with top pharma companies like Dr. Reddy's, Ranbaxy, MSN and Panacea. An astute leader and a team person and a firm believer of people development and process oriented. Lot of great brands launched under his leadership. In people front, many people at leadership positions in different pharma companies. Over to you, Mr. Vishal Arora.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you for. ये स्लाइड चेंज कर दिया स्लाइड चेंज कर इट स्लाइड चेंज
Hi, good morning everybody. My special compliments and congratulations to Dr. P.S. Chanda for such a wonderful event and for making this program a big success. I think he has created a new benchmark. He said it is the third year of the program, and within the third year itself, the program has reached to a greater heights, which I foresee is going to take more and more heights over a period of time, and then it's going to create a difference. I still remember when Dr. Chanda called me for this sort of an event, and then he called me and he said that he's conducting sort of a program, block your dates, and thereby also asked me to come and do a presentation. I always felt honored, and thank you very much, sir, for giving us this platform. I think it's a wonderful initiative which you have taken in terms of grooming the talent, because that is something which I don't think today in anybody at a doctor's level had been thinking about the pharmaceutical industry, colleagues. So I think all of you are being fortunate to work in that sort of a market where you have a doctor who thinks about you. He's more concerned about your progress. He's more concerned about your growth. And we all should give a big hand to Dr. Chanda for that. Let me appreciate Mr. Satish Pandey for a wonderful talk he just delivered. And I think he has already done 50% of my job, so my job becomes very easy for all of you. Right? Because when I was just thinking that what sort of a topic I should come and talk to all of you, I took out one of the interesting topics which has been always very close to my heart, that is the power of communication. I'm a firm believer of one thing, the industry in which we work, that's the pharmaceutical industry. This industry, the other word for this industry is the industry of communication. The way we go and communicate, the way we go and speak in the marketplace, the way we go and represent ourselves makes a hell amount of a difference today in the market, and that's what makes a lot of difference. Communication is something which I always say, it's a beautiful gift which we all have got from the God, and it is a way by which we create an impact in the life of others. It's such a wonderful tool by which we can definitely create a huge impact in the mind of the people. We can help the people to understand and grow. By communication, we share ideas, we share thoughts, and we share a passion and commitment. I'm a firm believer, let me share with you, all of you would have also come across so many people, so many bosses in your career. You would have seen there are a couple of people whom you meet. You really love to meet them. They energize you like anything. They come and share the ideas with you, and you get so much pumped up with that idea that you feel, yes, it's a great thing in life, and if you go and implement that, it is going to make a lot of difference. And this is what the power of communication is all about. Right? When you look into communication, how communication can be done? There will be a verbal communication, there is a non-verbal communication, there is a visual communication, there is a written communication. These are the main 4 types of communication which can be done. Right? I give you a live example here of a visual communication. Can you correlate anything with this slide? Can you correlate anything with this slide? I can give you a tip. It relates to this part of the country. It relates to West Bengal. It relates to this part of the country. Any idea? This picture is also West Bengal. Purulia. Okay. Connected with this fly. You see a fly here? Okay. Give me a second. Can anybody correlate this music? It's a famous Bengali movie. Nobody seen? Jalpuri. Right? A famous Bengali movie, no? What is the crux of this movie? And I intentionally have chosen that movie. I thought, let me give you and today I heard Dr. Chanda talking in the morning that there is a famous singer who is going to come and sing some songs for us. Surajit Majumdar. And this Jalpuri, the song is from by Surjit Murjindar only. I think all of us can hear him live in the evening. This is a movie in which he's starting to talk about life. What is life all about? And how can we enjoy life? What is the beauty of life? And how each one of us can make our life beautiful. And if we have to make our life beautiful, there are few things which we need to do. There are few things which are definitely going to make our life beautiful, and communication is one of it. And if we are able to have that one good thing in our life, it can definitely create a lot of good things for all of us. So therefore I say communication plays a very, very important role in the life of each one of us. And as pharma selling people, when I say it's an industry of communication, if you are able to develop that one particular element in ourselves, believe me, things can be doing good. I think Pandeyji also said that something which is very important for all of us as pharma selling people is that we need to work on our communications. So communication is once again one thing which is holistic. I think all of you see a slide where you see a pharma meeting going on here. So I always say when it talks about communication, communication has two elements. One is a professional communication which we do day in and day out with our doctors, chemists, stockists, which we call it as a professional communication. And the other part of communication is a personal communication, which is equally very, very important in life, which we do with our friends, with our family, parents, wife, children, because unless and until we balance both the sides of communication, things cannot work out for us. Always remember one thing in life, friends, that unless and until we have a balanced life, that is a good family life, then our professional life cannot be good. Because there has to be a balance between both the lives. And 99% of the time, as professionals, the mistake which we do is, we are more focused into our professional area and we miss that personal element in our life, which is also not good for us. I think this is one element of a professional communication which each one of us are very used to. We have seen this professional communication day in and day out. And Satishji also talked about that how visual aid had been a very important element in our careers and how now visual aid is moving towards a digital aid. But when it comes to a professional communication, what is that we go do inside a doctor's chamber day in and day out, how we go and present ourselves makes a lot of difference. The only challenge today is, this is an area where we do not put that much amount of efforts which each one of us does. Believe me, when I started my pharmaceutical journey in year 1995, I still remember the first thing my boss taught me for 3 to 4 consecutive days only sitting in the room was how to go and properly behave inside a doctor's chamber and properly detail. And I attribute my success today to that particular boss of mine, the way he groomed me, the way he developed me, and the way he taught me those skills. Believe me, I'll share with you a success story here in my life. When I got promoted, I used to work as a medical representative in Kanpur headquarters in UP. When I got promoted, incidentally got promoted in the same market. And a person replaced me, his name was Kamal, and I took that fellow to introduce in a market to one of our doctors. And I was very surprised. Then the doctor was a surgeon. It was a nursing home where a doctor was a surgeon and his wife was a gynecologist. Both of you used to share the same chamber. And I never noticed this, I never thought of that a doctor would have been going to such an extent and then talking. When I went for the introduction of that representative, the doctor said me the one statement to that new representative: you need to behave like your boss. Need to learn a lot of things. He said, the 2 representatives which come and meet me, one is your boss and one was a Pfizer fellow, I used to rate them the best. I also got curious. I said, sir, why you are saying like that? I never did anything extraordinary in your chamber. He said, you always need to notice one thing. My chamber is being shared by me and my wife both. The best thing which I always liked in you is that you always used to be crisp in terms of your talking. Second is, whenever you used to detail me and talk to me, my wife never used to get disturbed. And whenever you used to talk to my wife, I never used to get disturbed. And that's what makes a difference. And I rate you among the top 2 in my chamber. He says the same thing holds true with that Pfizer guy also. And therefore I told categorically your boy that you need to learn some attribute from your boss. Why I told you this example, you need to all understand, sometimes there are so few things which we don't even understand that the doctor would be noticing, but the smallest things makes a lot of difference. The customers are noticing us, and the small gestures which we bring in, sometimes knowingly and sometimes unknowingly, creates a lot of difference inside a doctor's chamber. So when it comes to a professional communication, something which is very something which is very important in communication is, because communication comes as the next step. Something which is very important is, what is my professional appearance and hygiene? How I go and present myself. Because if I am more presentable, if I am able to come and in a shabby dress, my shoes are not polished, my hairs are not combed properly, will my communication make a difference then? The answer is a big no. So if my appearance is good, I'm neatly dressed, I'm properly having hairs, I've already combed my hairs, properly polished my shoes, and I'm more presentable, that is the first impact which I create in the mind of a doctor, and that's what makes a difference. I think that all of us know. And then comes the second step, that is understanding the situation. I walked inside a doctor's chamber, what situation he is in, what is his mood, how is it the timing, is he in the right mood to listen to you, and then when he's in the right mood to listen to you, what is the value add you are doing, what is the context you want to talk to him, what is the purpose of your visit, what is that you bring on board in terms of value, in terms of references, in terms of article. We all need to understand that the industry which we are working in is a knowledge-based industry, and where we are going to talk anything based on evidence. So am I talking as an evidence-based industry? Am I going and talking something which adds value to him? Is it adding some importance to him in his day-to-day practice? And if you are not doing that, if you are only giving a reminder, then our call does not have any value. So we are bringing some relevancy with our product benefit, going to add value to him, detailing to the point, brief yet informative and thought-provoking. Please mark that word, thought-provoking. Am I doing something by which I am triggering the thought process of a doctor? Am I touching him in some areas which is definitely going to make him feel that he shared with me something very unique, something different, which is of any value to me. And if I'm able to do that, believe me, things are going to happen. Then something again very important, maintaining the personal space and the mutual respect. Keeping commitments, that's one area where I think in the pharma industry is known for that. There are people who are known for keeping their commitments, and they are those people who are being most valued by any doctor today in the marketplace. But at the same time, we have some people in our industry itself which are known for not keeping commitments, and that's one of the areas that sometimes we feel that trust which we had from the customers for this industry is coming down. So that's one area where we again need to work upon. We need to have a collaborative approach, because we have to have a win-win situation, and win-win situation can only happen when an organization, a medical sales professional and a doctor, all the three works together hand in hand. And I think again what Dr. Chanda has done today is again a win-win situation for us, where as a doctor he has started thinking about a pharmaceutical company, he has started thinking about all of us as a medical professional, and thereby it's a lot of value addition which is happening. Today, the world is moving. We all are working in a chronic industry. In a chronic industry, it's very, very important that we need to bring in most patient-centric approaches for creating a value and a long-term proposition for a doctor. And if you're able to do that, things are definitely going to be better. And that's one area where you get a better acceptance. I just now talked to all of you about a professional who plays a very important role today. When you talk about a professional communication, day in and day out, whatever we are doing towards improving our professional communication with our doctors, and thereby creating a mark for ourselves in the mind of the doctor. Excellent, that we should continue. But at the same time, we also need to understand, in the rut of improving ourselves from our professional communication, what is the status of my personal communication? Where I am landing with my family? Is it that communication level I am improving with my family, or I am going away from it? Because again I will say that I am a firm believer of that unless and until I have a balanced personal life, I cannot have a balanced professional life. And therefore, if you want a peak performance to come in your careers, you need to have a balanced personal and professional communication. And if that is being done, believe me, success is bound to come. Nobody can stop your success. because that's one area where each one of us need to be very, very careful. Network versus net worth of communication. Again, day in and day out, we have been having a network of professional communication. We have been having a networking of a lot of professionals, colleagues of ours. But similar networking am I doing in my personal life? Similar networking am I doing with my kids? Similar networking am I doing with my wife? Similar networking am I doing with my parents? My parents who have given me this space to come and stand here today, am I valuing them? And how I'm spending time with them makes a lot of difference. And believe me, 99% of the time, that's one area, a family, because we take family for granted. We take family for granted, and that's one area where we keep on missing it. So it is important that we need to have networking and networking in both the areas. Teammates, it is always being known that when we talk to our friends, when we talk to our family affection, we communicate a lot of confidence towards them. But at the same time, am I able to depict a similar level of confidence towards my colleagues, my representative, my area manager, my regional manager? Believe me, both the sides require a similar level of communication, similar level of love and affection, which is very, very important. And if you are able to depict that, communicate that love, that affection, that confidence to all of them, we are able to foster them as a future talent for us. And this is required both in our professional life as well as personal life, because nobody is perfect. We have to give opportunities to people, and thereby we need to help them to learn from their mistakes and need to support them, guide them, and that's which is very important. So therefore I call it as appreciation fosters confidence for future leaders, and that thing is going to happen only when we allow our new generation to do experimentation, allow them to taste the success, because when you give them an opportunity to do an experiment, 80 to 90% of the time they will be successful. 10% failure which comes in their kitty is definitely going to give them a lot of lessons of life, a lot of learnings of life, which is going to make them a better professional for tomorrow. Each one of us, including me, we have learned from our mistakes and have grown here. Otherwise it would have not been possible. So the same thing holds true with all of you sitting in this room. Go, nurture your talent, move forward in the marketplace, and thereby try to commit mistakes. There is no problem in committing mistakes. Mr. Pandya also said that statement very, very categorically. We need to commit mistakes, but we need to learn from those mistakes. We need to see that how can we move forward in our careers by not repeating those mistakes again, and thereby use that mistakes at our treasure, that yes, this is what has given me success, this is what has given me learning. So appreciation fosters confidence for future leaders, not only in our professional life, also in our personal life. So give that space even to your kids in the house. Give that space for all of them also to do mistakes and learn into the mistakes. And if you're able to do that, believe me, sky's the limit. You see a slide over here which talks about a self-talk. Can anybody tell me what is a self-talk? Teammates, all of us do so many things in life. All of us spend every day, do a lot of firefighting, do good things in our life. But do we spend even 5 minutes every day to understand what went right for me? Panditji said, pat your back. Have you even thought, why should I pat my back? I have done some self-talking with me. I am a representative. I go and work in Durgapur market. But in that Durgapur market, what is that good I did today? Am I able to think, no, I went and met Dr. P.S. Chanda. Dr. P.S. Chanda, when I was having a discussion, he threw some good points to me, and it was a self-learning for me. And in that learning, if I implement in my day-to-day work, every day in the marketplace, it is going to make me a better professional for tomorrow. If I'm able to do that, believe me, things are going to be much brighter. And that's one area where we 99% of the time falter, because we don't know that. We don't even think, reflect back, what is that good I have done? So Panditji said, pat the back, I say self-appreciation. Again, the point remains the same. I don't want to repeat it, because this is one area, again, where we 99% of the time falter. We expect appreciation from our boss. Anything good I have done, my boss should come and appreciate me. I expect appreciation from my customers also. Yes, I have done something good for Dr. Chanda, he should come and appreciate me. Yes, you are doing something good. Right? I expect an appreciation from my family. I expect an appreciation from my friends. For anything, I bought a new car, now people should come and appreciate me. Arey, तुमने नया गाड़ी खरीदा, अच्छा बात है. But have I ever done a self-appreciation for myself? Believe me, there cannot be a better substitute than a self-appreciation. And if I'm able to appreciate myself, I'm able to make myself a different individual. And that's what helps me to gather more confidence. And that's what makes me a better personality. A non-verbal communication. I said communication has 3 elements: verbal, non-verbal, visual, and written communication. So we said non-verbal communication, each one of us do on a daily basis with a lot of people. We also behave sometimes. But the worst non-verbal communication happens in the family when we are in the house, sitting with our laptop, doing everything, ignoring the others, sitting all around. 99% of the time in our families also, now the laptop is getting replaced by a mobile. You see in a family there are 4 people sitting, everybody working on its mobile, not even thinking about what others are doing and what sort of a communication we are doing there. So that's one area where we need to look upon. In communication, one element which is very, very important, which each one of us always need to remember, that is listening. We feel that communication is only speaking. No. One very important element of communication is, am I a good listener? Am I able to listen and understand others' viewpoint? Because if I am able to do that, then only I am going to understand and add value to the others. So please understand, listening impacts us very important area. Listening impacts each one of us. So we need to be a good listener if we want to be a good communicator, and if we want people should appreciate us. The great Swami Vivekananda said, talk to yourself at least once in a day. Otherwise, you may miss a meeting with an excellent person in the world. That is why I say self-talk is very important. When you are doing any work, do it as a worship. As the highest worship and devotee, your whole life to it is for the time being. And believe me, these are the 2 very important things. On this context, I would like to show you a small clipping.
Would be the ultimate gift they yearn for, always. More than 95% of the people have this gift, the power to talk. However, only a handful choose to use it to create change. The ones that create change touch the lives of people, contribute to the society, and make the world smile. Be it entrepreneurs, politicians, philanthropists, artists, musicians, sportsperson or influencers, they all have one thing in common. They communicate effectively their thoughts, ideas, and passion. They communicate efficiently to bring about change, not just for themselves, but for others as well. If they can be a change maker, so can you, and only you can. Be the change. Let's do it.
So I think each one of us can definitely change lot of things which is around us in terms of our family, in terms of our professional careers. If you are able to just implement this important element in ourselves, that is the power of communication. How we communicate, how we deal with people, how we articulate ourselves, because all these great personalities which we just saw in this video have been also ordinary people who became extraordinary by just one basic element in them, that is a power of communication. How they change themselves, how they articulate it, and how they move on. So I wish all of you also to become a change agent for yourself in future. And with this, I rest the talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. It's the time for felicitation of another great speaker, Mr. Vishal Arora. I request Dr. P.S. Chanda to felicitate Mr. Vishal Arora. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. It was a real pleasure.
Next speaker is Mr. Ankit Shah, and he will talk on my journey in pharmaceutical industry. This topic has been given by myself to him. I think he is a prodigy in pharmaceutical industry. He is General Manager, Alchem Eurocare, SBU Head, BPharm and MBA. Associated with Alchem for 4 years and into 5th year of building urology business. Previously with Johnson & Johnson for 6 years in sales and marketing, and he was with Ranbaxy for 7 years in urology, ortho and derma. Total 17 years of experience in sales and marketing. Entrusted responsibility of Alchem Eurocare as a General Manager, SBU Head, at a stunning age of 37. Please come, prodigy.
Very good morning. Hello. Very good morning. So, of course, a big step to fill in after Mr. Vishal Arora and Satish. Sincere thanks to Dr. P.S. Chanda, sir, for making me a part of this URO Carnival. It's a great privilege, and frankly, it's the best platform where we all are not sitting as companies, we all are colleagues for the betterment of the industry, for the betterment of the pharma field, and under your aegis. So I feel privileged to be also getting this responsibility of sharing my thoughts. But what sir has shared me as a topic, sir has shared me, or given me a topic which is personal. सर ने बोला अपना जर्नी बताओ. Right. So it's very personal. What is your journey? Because I can say a lot of things which can be useful to you, but what is my journey? It is like मैं ही मेरी बढ़ाई करूँ. So sir has given me a difficult task, but I'll try to do justice with this. Bear with me for another 15-20 minutes. Right. So yes. I mean, this is where, and sir mentioned me as a prodigy, but frankly here, everybody who's here in this room, of course, along with sir, everybody is an achiever in his or her own field, right? Correct? And that is why you are here, you have reached here. Okay, you may be coming from different backgrounds, difficult backgrounds, but everybody is here. And so don't look at me just as an achiever. I am just one of you. And everybody is an achiever here, is what I believe. And this was my first discussion when I met Sir and Rana, and Sir was giving his perspective about URO Carnival, and I was like, yes, definitely, it's a great platform. And so I am here as one of you, and Sir has asked me how did I reach here today, okay, where I am today. Learnings which you can take home from my journey, okay, how did I accelerate, maybe professionally, personally, and please understand my success or anybody's success, today a Virat Kohli is a success, cannot be just because of him. Of course he's put in a lot of hard work, but at the end of the day it's because of the team, he's also standing there. So my success is because of, it's a collective success, it's a success of my parents, my my family, my teachers, professors, the doctors, whom who trusted me, my team. So it's a collective success. So yeah, here I begin. So yeah, this is my journey. So frankly, I was not a topper and stuff from school till the 12th standard. I was very happy-go-lucky, content. I was happy, and my family was also happy. Me getting 60 to 70%, 60s to 70s. I have never gone beyond 70% till the 12th standard. Let me be very honest. But somewhere, my math science was good, and I could get into the science field. So, but till 12th I was very happy-go-lucky, but yes, I was gutsy in a way. B-Farm, actually B-Farm was my, when things changed for me. First time, actually it moved me outside my comfort zone, okay, which I'll share. I could do NMIMS MBA, and here I could really explore and really take it to my next level. I became the best all-rounder student under Dr. Tarun Gupta. Dr. Tarun Gupta, he's a legend, and I was fortunate to be a class representative attending to his 6 a.m. calls every day, and about winning the best all-rounder student award from his hand and the convener of NMIMS. My journey at Ranbaxy, where my career actually began, where I shifted to a different city. My career in marketing, which began, and here I could spend time. Not just, this was my first love. Urology is my first love. So urology for around 3 years, orthopedic for Crosslands for another 4 years, and then dermatology, Dermalands. So this is where Ranbaxy gave me wings to actually explore in 3 different therapies. And then Janssen, J&J, I was there for around 6.5 years into marketing, achieving the ever highest in marketing in an MNC. And also post that, J&J gave me a platform to get into sales. So this is the time where I also got into sales. And Alchem, which is where I am now, it's all about putting patients first, and it's all about, I've completed 4 years in Alchem. So this is a short journey which I share. Early life, so my hero is my grandfather. My grandfather remains my hero because my grandfather came from a small city which is today on our 100 rupee note. So that's the native place from my grandfather came. He when he was 13 years, and I mean he came to Bombay at the age of 13. Did a lot of struggles, and at the end of the day he had 4 chemist shops. He could also produce a movie. Maybe you can Google Sanj or Savera by Gurudutt, Meena Kumari, Mahmood and stuff. So he's done all these things. But he was fooled after that movie. We came back to ground zero and all those things. But yes, my grandfather gave me this interest because of the pharmacy, because of the chemist shop. I generated that interest in pharmacy, in medicine. So that's how I landed in, in pharmacy, in medicine. Very important thing, a cue from what Satish also mentioned. When we are young, we don't know what life holds. We do not have responsibility, right? But when all the friends were getting into engineering, where they were giving GRE, TOEFL, they wanted to fly out of India, I was very clear, okay, my love is medicine, my love is pharma, and I could see my chemist shop from my grandfather's eye. So this is what I was doing. But I was very clear that I will serve in India, I will be in India, probably in the pharmacy field only. That's how I did B.Pharm. What happened is, like I said, I was a happy-go-lucky student, a very content, 60s man, I was happy. But what happened is, because I knew what the concepts are, because I was also into pharmacy since a very young age. Since my birth, I was into pharmacy. So I knew what exactly is required for pharmacy. So when the entrance exam happened for the first time, I had just scored 65% in 12th. But when the entrance exam happened, I was amongst the top 1,000 students in Maharashtra. And that is where I got a very free seat. 6,000 rupees I have done my B.Pharm. In 6,000 rupees my free seat I have got per year, and I have done B.Pharm. Whereas the toppers in 90%, 95%, they ended up getting a payment seat. And that is where it realized it made me understand about my potential in terms of the learnings and academics, and where I could take it up. The second is, the real game changer happened when for the first time ever I failed. In the 3rd year of B.Pharm, I failed in one subject, pharmaceutical chemistry. We used to have every year entrance exams, university exams every year. In the 3rd year, I failed in pharmaceutical chemistry. And that is where it was like I was dumbstruck. Okay, I can fail. That is when the reality struck. Okay, I can fail. And I have failed. And that's when I started becoming serious. I started making notes and notes and notes. And every day I used to practice. Any small paper I used to see, I used to write the formulas of pharmaceutical chemistry. What are the molecules and the structures and everything. And this is how I became a university topper in the same subject where I failed, pharmaceutical chemistry. Okay, in fact in the final year also, in the pharmaceutical chemistry I topped. This is that I wanted to show that maybe I failed, but I have in me to really come out of that failure. So I think somebody mentioned that, how do you take your failures? Whether you get into a shell or whether you take that failure into your heart and you really turn around. Okay, I think Satish mentioned this. So MBA happened, and MBA also, again, it was not just doing an MBA, but it was rising above everybody. So I did not just get into an MBA, but I also got into social responsibility forums, I got into dramatics, I got into placement agencies. So I did a lot of things because I knew that probably I need to get out of my shyness. I was a shy person, and that is why I got into dramatics, which was happening in NMIMS. I got into social responsibility forum because this is where I personally feel touched to do something for the society. So, and the placement agencies, companies used to come to our campus, or unke car parkings I used to do. So, that's how I learned driving also, driving big cars and everything. So,
it's about trying out new things and not just sticking to what you're doing. Another important thing is pharma versus urology. So this is a very important thing. When I was post my field, post my sales and everything, I was offered two things. Pharma, which is the most biggest division of Ranbaxy, which is pharma, and the second was urology. This is what I was offered into marketing. Now pharma is a division which has Cifran, Xanosins, Poridex, big brands. But then I thought that no, I want to become a big fish in a small pond, than a small fish getting lost in a big ocean. So that is why I chose urology. Of course, because BPharm also has urology. At least urology, I felt that I could apply my science to urology and not getting into pharma, which is a very generalized field. Another important thing is, there is a myth which is there, Indian companies versus MNCs. Indian companies work this way, MNCs working this way, and I wanted to explore everything. And that is why I worked in Ranbaxy as well as in Johnson & Johnson for at least a good amount of time, which is around 7 years in each. And at the end of the day, wherever I work, I've never given up my values. I moved from a different state to different state. मुझे बोला गया था फार्मा में आना है तो दारू पीना पड़ेगा, राइट? डॉक्टर के साथ रिलेशनशिप बनाना है, दारू पीना पड़ेगा. But somehow, I've been very fortunate. I've got really good people around me, really nice support from the fraternity whom I have worked with, and I have never given up on my values, which I believe. So I don't say something is right or wrong, but what I believe in is something I will continue to do. I will not say yes to anybody. At the same time, I will continue to stand my ground if I believe that I am correct. So, idea is, what is the learning out of all this thing? Idea is, stand out, prove them wrong. If you are a failure, prove them wrong. If somebody has told you that MNCs are better, prove it wrong. If you believe that you can only work in Indian companies, prove it wrong.